Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're really digging into the global economy, how it's shifting, changing right under our feet. And we're trying to tackle that really big question,
Yeah.
How does a society best use its limited resources to meet everyone's needs and wants? Because those answers are changing everything.
Exactly. It's like the whole economic map is being redrawn, not just numbers, but who holds influence, how competition works, understanding these shifts, who's up, who's adapting, the new pressures. It's crucial if you want to understand where finance is heading globally.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit. I mean, you still have the absolute giants, right? The U.S. and China, their combined GDP is enormous, something like, $46 trillion?
It's a staggering figure, yeah.
But beyond them, that's where the interesting shifts are happening. You've got Germany and Japan, always solid, huge industrial bases. But then there's India. Wow. I mean, shooting up into the top 5, that's the real story, isn't it? What's driving that incredible acceleration?
That's a great point, because India's rise, it's not just about raw size anymore. It's demographics, a massive growing domestic market, really challenging the old guard. Germany and Japan, still powerhouses in high-value manufacturing, absolutely. Innovation, too. But India's scale, its consumer base, it's sort of redefining economic clout. It signals a new pecking order, based on potential just as much as legacy.
Okay, now here's where it gets really interesting, I think. Let's zoom in on Brazil. We're not just talking a regional leader here. This is one of the world's biggest economies. What's the GDP? Around $2.13 trillion nominal. And it's not just big, it's dynamic. Expanding 3.4% in 2024, that's pretty impressive growth compared to many advanced economies. What makes Brazil so key on the global stage?
Well, its importance goes way beyond its neighborhood. Brazil is a global agricultural giant. I mean, it feeds a significant part of the world. Plus, it has vast natural resources, think iron ore, and then you have this huge domestic market, a growing industrial sector. Its stability, its economic path, it directly impacts global commodity prices, food security, investment flows, especially across the Americas. It's a real linchpin.
Right, but it's never totally smooth sailing, is it? Even these giants, they face headwinds, big ones. What are the major vulnerabilities you see cropping up, like China's growth? Still strong, projected around 5% for 2024, but it is moderating from those, legendary rates. What's behind that?
China's a perfect case study here. Yeah, 5% is solid, but it's definitely a shift down. A big piece of that is the property sector slump, which has knock-on effects everywhere. And then you have the aging population challenge. That affects labor, demand, everything. So complex domestic issues, but maybe the biggest external disruptor, the one everyone's watching, potential trade tariffs, escalating ones.
You mean the new U.S. policies we've been hearing about?
Yeah.
What do those actually do on the ground, like for global trade?
Exactly those. And the consequences could be huge. We're talking potentially rerouting trade flows, making companies completely rethink their global supply chains. For China specifically, that means more pressure on its exports, which are vital. That could hit manufacturing, jobs, stability. It's not just policy papers. It means potentially higher prices for you and me and tough choices for businesses.
So how does Brazil fit into this? With these trade winds blowing, I know they've diversified their partners quite a bit, which might soften the blow compared to some others, but still they have record-breaking trade with the U.S.
Yeah.
That relationship must still be vulnerable, right?
Diversification definitely helps, gives them options, a buffer. If U.S. tariffs bite hard, they can try to pivot more elsewhere. But yeah, that U.S. trade link is significant. Widespread tariffs, they'd still feel it. They'd have to adjust strategically. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, look, maybe calling it an economic war is a bit dramatic, but we are in a new era. Fierce competition, definitely more protectionism.
So what does this all mean then for how nations operate, for us?
It means that old idea of just pure, frictionless globalization, that's kind of fading. It's getting more complex. The way forward now isn't just about efficiency above all else. It's about strategic navigation, smart moves. We're talking diversifying supply chains for real, building up domestic resilience, even using economic tools more like diplomatic leverage. The winners in this new landscape, they'll be the ones who can adapt fastest, protect their own growth, and build clever, agile alliances, because the world is getting more divided, more competitive.
So a lot to think about there. As you consider all these shifts, this whole redrawing of the economic map, how might nations or even, your own community best get ready? How do you adapt to these new trade winds and secure a future in this changing world?